So here we have 300 books to sell for $40 each. It's resulting in a revenue of $1,200. Makes sense. So if you have 300 books sold for 40 bucks each, that'll equal $1,200. So this is one instance that we know is true. And now it says for each $5 increase in price, 25 fewer books are sold. So revenue is the portion for, the price is the $40. So for increase 40 plus 5x, meaning per $5 increase, that's how much money it would cost. So x is the number of increases which would result in, so again, 300 is our starting price, or starting books that we sold. So that would result in 25 fewer per $5 increase, and that would equal our R for revenue. So we can leave it like this, or we can expand it. It's no big deal. I'm pretty sure this is all you have to do for this kind of problem. But just kind of write down what you're given into an equation and then go from there to expand upon it. But yeah, that's all you have to do. This is your answer. So just try to keep thinking about it as much as you can in your head to see if it makes sense. All right. And our last problem is going to be to fill in the table for a ceiling function for x and y, and sketch y equals to x minus the ceiling of x for -1 to 2. So we're given all of our x values over here, and then we're going to write down what the ceiling is for each of those. So the ceiling for -1 is just -1, and the ceiling from, that should be -1 right there, to 0. So think about what's going to be the next highest thing if we're at, say, -0.5. So the next highest integer is going to be 0. And then we're going to be from 0 to 1. So for, say, that'd be like 0.5. So the next highest integer is going to be 1. And then so on. Next highest integer between 1 and 2 is going to be 2. And then y here will equal x minus -1, whatever our ceiling happens to be, because this is equal to x minus the ceiling of x. So this is going to be x plus 1, and then we're going to be x minus 0, which equals x. This would be x minus 1, that's all you have to do, and then x minus 2. So these would be all of our equations for when we look at these intervals. So from x equals -1, y would equal x minus the ceiling of x. So we just have to do is just plug in -1 in for here. We have 0. So -1, y equals -1 plus 1, which equals 0. So right there is 0. And we include that dot because it's at equal to. Then once we're a little bit greater than 1, it's 0. So what would be y equals x? So we just go all the way down to where y equals where x equals -1. Go up till x equals 1. We include that, or x equals 0. So we include that dot. And then we look at x is 0 to 1. So if it's 0 for this function here, then we have -1, open dot, and then it's going to be y equal to x minus 1 until we get to x equal to 1. Then it's closed dot, and then once we're greater than 1, we're going to have a closed dot again, right at y equals -1. And then from 1 to 2, it's going to be y equals x minus 2. And if you were to continue that function, Would we had -2 as a y-intercept? And we would. So we can go ahead and erase that. That's just for us to double check. And then we go all the way up to 2 till we're at 2, and at 2 it equals 0. And that's about it. But just take your time, think it out, think about what your ceiling or your floor function would happen to be in relation to your actual function. Yeah. This is everything. Good luck on your test.